One serving is 1 teaspoon of soft margarine. Ladies and gentlemen, they're recommending margarine. My wife used to be on high blood pressure medication. Used to be. On cholesterol medication, right? And she used to have to take medication for migraines. She's not on any of those medications anymore. On any of them. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Good morning ladies and gentlemen. It's about 4:30 in the morning and I get to share the sun just breaking over that ridge back there. I hope you can see it because it is a beautiful sight. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a little walk and talk. Today I'm going to go for my 5-mile walk. It's my long walk, all right? I'm sure it's probably nothing for some of you, but we're also going to spend a little bit of time on the computer because I really need to show you some testimonials and I need to show you a study that was just conducted not too long ago on what we're going to talk about today. And what is that? That is that they are putting this stuff on everything, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sure you all know what I mean. You've probably seen videos. I just happened to come across a couple of videos about the GMO sign on food ingredients being changed to, I think it's bioengineered food stuff or whatever like that. But I'll show you a picture of it. They even put it in bubble gum. Even bubble gum is not safe from this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, bubble gum is just gum, but they put so much crap in there that it's just amazing what they get away with by using different words. I remember talking about this a while back, that they were going to start using different words for GMO. I read an article, I think, on a video. Excuse me, mosquitoes around. I read an article on a video once where it was saying that they're going to start using different words instead of GMO. That way people will not know or will not directly see the word GMO or the acronym GMO on their packaging. And I'm going to show you, like I said, a study that was done. And I'm going to show you what it is that I'm doing to avert this crap, this assault that is being, done on the people, not just the American people, but people worldwide. And I'm also going to share with you some testimonials, ladies and gentlemen, that are right in the comment sections of some of my previous videos. So let's go ahead. Let's start our walk. I've got about 4.8 miles to go. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful day today. Beautiful day to go out for a nice long walk. And I have to get back in a hurry because I have to get ready to go meet one of our community members who's visiting from the lower 48. He got a hold of me. And this morning, I'm going to go and meet him and his family. All right. So shout out to you, Kevin. All right. And I'll be having coffee with you here later on today. Look at this. In order to enjoy this beauty for 2 or 3 months out of the year, and in order to enjoy beautiful things that Alaska has to offer, you have to put up with the winters, unless you just want to come down here and spend a couple of weeks or a couple of months every year. Some people do actually do that. Some people just come down here and spend the summers here, and then they maybe live in a different state where they don't have really harsh winters, and they go down there for the winter part of Alaska's winters. They just spend it down the lower 48. Now, this time of the year, ladies and gentlemen, is a time of the year that you have to be very careful around here. I've never come across a bear or really a predatory animal around here. The only thing to be careful about here, however, this time of the year is moose. So this time of the year, and surprisingly so, I have not seen a moose this year yet. Usually by this time in the spring, I will have already seen a mama moose with 1 or 2 little baby moose. All right. Usually by this time, I've seen 1 or 2 of those coming by, and you have one that usually visits every day to the house or something. But I haven't seen any this year. So that is the danger right there. Is if you're walking and not keeping your head on a swivel, looking around every once in a while. If I'm doing a walking video, you might see me, go like this because I hear something behind me. And you just have to be very careful because the moose don't know that you're friendly. They don't know that you're not trying to get to their little moose, right? Their little baby moose, their calves, right? They don't know that. They're just trying to protect their kids. So, they're going to do what they think they need to do. And a lot of times it's to try to trample you. And I'm not sure if you've seen a moose lately, but they're pretty big. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what it is that I'm doing in order to avert all of this crap that they keep putting in our foods. But before I start, ladies and gentlemen, let me just go ahead and tell you this. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And I'm not trying to convince you in any way to do anything that I'm doing. I'm just giving you my point of view from my experience, and then I'm also later on, when we get back home, going to share with you a few testimonials with some other people that are somewhat inspiring, in my opinion, and also a few questions that someone had or some people had in previous videos that are great questions that I think a lot of people will benefit from. And there is Bob, ladies and gentlemen, finally made it over that ridge line over there. There is Bob. So some of you, or most of you, unless you're new to the channel, will probably remember here that a few months ago, sometime in January, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And it's because of the lifestyle that I had my entire life, and also in part because of the diet that is pushed onto not only us, the American people, but most people around the world, which is a carbohydrate-rich diet, and emphasizing to eat less meat, less fats, because that's supposed to be bad for you, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have to do your own research. So today we consume 33% less meat products than what we used to consume back when they started this, regulatory diet scheme from the government, saying, yeah, you should be eating vegetables, you should be eating grains, etc., right? And the rates of cancer have gone up 3 or 4 times. The rates of diabetes have gone up tenfold, probably, if not higher than that. The rates of autoimmune diseases have gone up substantially. So pretty much what I'm getting at is that ever since the dietary guidelines have changed, saying that you should eat a lot less meat and a lot more carbohydrates, those same illnesses, chronic illnesses, cancers and things as such, that they were saying that meat and animal products cause, when people started eating less meat, those went up. To me, that makes no sense. So that was kind of like an awakening moment for me as far as starting what I like to call, and a lot of people call, a ketovore diet. Now, a ketovore diet, ladies and gentlemen, is kind of like a hybrid diet that includes a ketogenic diet and a carnivore diet at the same time. So a ketogenic diet, and this is what I know it to be, okay? Remember, I'm not a professional at this, but a ketogenic diet is a diet in which you try to consume 30 or less net carbohydrates per day. So you're substantially lowering the number of carbohydrates that you eat in a given day. And the reason for that is because it lowers the amount of sugar that you introduce into your body directly, instead of allowing your body to make the sugar that it needs with other foods that you eat that are not full of carbohydrates. And a carnivore diet is pretty much a diet in which you consume no carbohydrates that come from any kind of plant foods. So no seed oils at all, even though seed oils don't have carbohydrates, but no seed oils because they come from plants. No vegetables, no fruits, no rice, no grains, no nothing. All you eat is animal products. Now, you're going to get a very small amount of carbohydrates from animal products. Like, for example, a large egg has about 1 carbohydrate, but that's an animal product and you're allowed to eat it because it's considered carnivore. Now, ketovore, ladies and gentlemen, for me, is like a diet that I'm using to transition from ketogenic diet to carnivore diet. So I've been slowly reducing the amount of net carbs that I eat on a daily basis as much as I can. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm down to about 2 to 3, maybe 5 at the most carbs, total carbs, not net, per day. And then I will be on a full-blown carnivore diet. And let me tell you what some of the benefits that I've experienced since I started doing this have been to date. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I was having some serious problems when I first got diagnosed with diabetes. And one of those problems is that I went into what I like to call military mode. I'm like, when it comes to things like that, I'm a no-nonsense kind of guy. I'm like, no, I have to do what I have to do. I don't care what it costs me. I don't care. I have to do this. So I kind of like put my body into shock, because the same day that I found out, I stopped eating all carbs, like all carbs. I'm like, oh my goodness. Now looking back, I'm like, that was a mistake. You should have just eased into things. And I started having some serious problems. I started having some really bad headaches. I started having some kidney issues where my back was hurting a lot. And I didn't know why. I thought that it was because I sprained my back or something. I went to a chiropractor. It ended up that it was being my kidneys that were being overworked. Same thing with my liver. My liver was being overworked. My blood sugar was spiking, crazy spikes. And here I'm asking myself, I'm doing everything right. Why is my sugar doing what it's doing? It's crazy. And then someone told me, listen, you need to ease into this. Don't cut out everything all at once. Go ahead and eat some carbs. You know, do the ketogenic first. Start with that first, and eat some carbs. Eat up to 30 to 50 grams a day. And that's how I started doing it. But eat carbs that are good. Don't eat your 30 or 40 grams of carbs in a day by drinking a can of soda. Have good carbs. Go ahead and have some vegetables if you want. And then just draw it down little by little as the weeks and months go by. And then eventually you'll be down to where you're just doing a carnivore diet and you're consuming no carbs whatsoever from fruits or vegetables or grains. What a beautiful day, huh, ladies and gentlemen? You can probably hear the cars on the highway over there, far off. But look at this. Look at this sight. These are the things that we take for granted. So going back to my problems at first, like I told you, my blood sugar was spiking, my blood pressure, oh my goodness, it would just go up and down. I had to figure out how to control my electrolytes, all that kind of stuff. But the good news is that you have a lot of YouTube channels out there, and I'm not talking about just myself, but you have a lot of YouTube channels where real doctors, real professionals, real nutritionists are talking about this and giving you ideas and hints and actually advice on how you can do this the right way where it will benefit you and you're not going to hurt yourself. But you always have to do your own research, ladies and gentlemen. Even though I take a lot of advice from those other channels, I still have regular doctor appointments and I still talk to my doctor about things that I'm doing and should and shouldn't do. Now, going back to the part where like my blood pressure and my blood sugar was going crazy, I finally got it under control because I did not give up. I did not give up. I just kept pushing forward. And in the beginning, I'm trying to remember. Yes, in the beginning it was crazy. Like my blood sugar, when I would wake up, I would take my blood sugar about 2 hours after I wake up. And it was crazy. It was like 180, 170. And I'd be like, I haven't eaten anything in 14 hours. How in the world is my blood sugar 170, 180, sometimes 190? And I just told myself, you just have to keep doing what you're doing because you're doing the right thing, okay? And I kept doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 months forward today, I've been taking my blood sugar early in the morning every day, around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, 108, 115, 112, and which that is still a little bit high, excuse me. Like I said, that is still a little bit high, 108, 112, but it's a heck of a lot better than 180, 170, 190. So, and this has been consistent now for about the last 4 or 5 days. I've been getting really good blood sugar readings throughout the day, especially my morning one. And then I usually take one in the morning, and then I'll take one in the late afternoon, a couple of hours after I've eaten. The one that I took yesterday is 106. So I'm like very, very happy about that. But it just shows that you have to trust the system, that you've applied, and just go with it and you will get results. Because like I said, what else can I do? I'm doing all of the right things right now. All right, so I'm about at the halfway point. I'm going to go ahead and turn around here in about a half a mile or so. We're going to go back home and we're going to go check out the computer. I'm going to share with you that study, and it's going to be really quick, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to leave you links too. And then I'm going to share with you some testimonials that I've received that are very encouraging right from our own comment section. So I ran across Dr. Barry's video that he just put up not too long ago, and as you can see, I'm subscribed to him. Great YouTube channel, very knowledgeable, right? And he is an actual doctor. He's, I believe, a family doctor. I'm going to leave the link to this video on a pinned comment so that you can revisit it, because on this video here, he also provides a link to the study that we're going to take a look at. But here he's going over that study. So he does it a lot better than I could do it, ladies and gentlemen. So go check this video out and have him explain to you exactly what that study says. But here's the study right here. This is the actual study, all right? And it says, comparing very low carbohydrates versus a DASH diet for overweight or obese adults with hypertension and prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. And it's a randomized trial. Now, this study here, for the layman to read it, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what half of the things here mean, but there is another link that I will leave in the description as well, that pretty much gives you the results and the conclusion. Now, some of you may be asking, what's the VLC diet? It's just a very low carbohydrate diet. That's what VLC stands for. Victor Lima Charlie, right? Very low carbohydrate diet. And the DASH diet, I had to actually look up what the DASH diet stood for, and this is it right here. A DASH diet is healthy eating to lower your blood pressure. That's what the DASH diet is intended for. And DASH stands for dietary approaches to stop hypertension or high blood pressure. All right, and here is what is the suggested menu if you're going on the DASH diet, which is kind of like the opposite of what would be recommended if you were going on a carnivore or ketovore diet, in my opinion. Here they recommend that on a daily basis you eat grains 6 to 8 servings a day, vegetables 4 to 5 servings a day, fruits 4 to 5 a day, fat-free or low-fat dairy products 2 to 3 a day, lean meats. That's definitely not recommended in ketovore or carnivore. You want to have fatty meats, a lot of fat. Fat is very satiating, means that it fills you up and it makes you feel, content with what you've eaten, and it gives you a constant energy level throughout the day instead of you going up and down and then crashing, right? And it says here, fats and oils, 2 to 3 servings a day. 1 serving is 1 teaspoon of soft margarine. Ladies and gentlemen, they're recommending margarine. Okay? I'm sorry. Or 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil. And again, carnivore, you don't have any kind of seed oils or any kind of hydrogenated oils that are pretty much man-made if you want to think about it. And the reason I say that seed oils are man-made is because they take something that nature provided, right? And then they ultra process it. They pretty much kill all of the real nutrients that's inside of it. All right. Anyways, 2 tablespoons of salad dressing. That's what they recommend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for fats. Sweets and added sugars. So here they're saying, yeah, you can have sweets and added sugars. 5 servings or fewer a week. So almost 1 serving a day of sweets or added sugars, ladies and gentlemen. If I ate a candy bar right now, my sugar level would skyrocket. Right? Would skyrocket, and it would stay elevated for hours. Okay? So that would be detrimental for my health, in my opinion. 1 serving is 1 tablespoon of sugar, jelly, or jam, or a half a cup of sorbet, or 1 cup of lemonade. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have to do your own research as far as what it is that causes cancers and what feeds cancers, right? But anyways, I digress. Just do your own research, please, right? Let's go back to the results of the study and to the conclusion. The results. The VLC diet, the very low carbohydrate diet, led to greater improvement in estimated mean systolic blood pressure. So your average systolic blood pressure, it was better for the VLC diet participants than it was for the DASH diet participants by almost 100%. Here you can see that the VLC diet participants, their systolic blood pressure dropped by 9.77 mmHg, whatever that means, right? Versus 5.18 for the DASH diet participants. Taking a look at glycated hemoglobin, which in other words is your A1C, right? So your A1C is just a way of measuring your long-term blood sugar, all right? And for the DASH diet participants, their A1C did reduce by 0.14%. But for the VLC participants, the very low carbohydrates, their A1C reduced by 0.35%, which is almost 3 times as much. Now, I forget exactly how long this study was, but I think it was about 94 participants that were tracked for the amount of time that they did this study. It wasn't for like a week or two. I think it was a pretty good long study. Now, when it comes to weight loss, the VLC, very low carbohydrate, ended up losing 19.14 pounds on average, and the DASH participants lost about 10 pounds on average. So you can see that the VLC lost on average about twice as much weight as the DASH participants. Now, this is the conclusion. For adults with hypertension, prediabetes, or type 2 diabetes, and overweight or obesity, the VLC diet, remember this is the very low carbohydrate diet, resulted in greater improvements in systolic blood pressure, glycemic control, and weight over a 4-month period. So you see this was a 4-month study, compared with the DASH diet. These findings suggest that larger trials with longer follow-up are warranted to determine whether the VLC diet might be more beneficial for disease management than the DASH diet for these high-risk adults. So this is a great thing. Even though it was only a study of about 94 people for only about 4 months, it has given them enough data to where they're now looking at doing further studies for longer periods of time with a bigger test case, meaning with more people involved, which is a great thing, ladies and gentlemen. I believe this is going to take years, and it's going to take even longer before the average person wakes up that we've been lied to for decades about the foods that we eat. But again, ladies and gentlemen, you have to do your own research, okay? So I just wanted to go back and talk about a couple of comments that I saw on one of my previous videos. This one is Reversing Diabetes with Ketovore, episode 5. For those of you that don't know, I put out a new episode every Tuesday. I'm about 3 or 4 episodes behind on YouTube. The rest of them are on Patreon, but I don't want to crowd the channel with only Ketovore and diabetes information, right? I just want to make sure that it balances out, so I put one out every Tuesday. But this here is episode number 5. I put it out, what, a day ago or so, and this one is got a lot of good comments. And let's go ahead and read a few of the comments. And I'm going to finish this video off with an email that I received. That is an awesome email, ladies and gentlemen. And it is why I love doing videos like this, doing this little series that I'm doing on how I'm doing with my ketovore and my carnivore, my diabetes and all that kind of stuff. Because it's all about helping each other. And it says here, when I started keto, my motto was, don't focus on what you can't have, focus on what you can have. And that made all the difference. And that is a great comment, because if you start trying to relive your past, you know, I was starting to try to relive my past. I wanted to make pancakes that were net free in carbs, right? And I ended up making a pancake that was net free in carbs, but I ended up paying for it because my digestive system did not like it. You have to understand that you have to let go of those things that you know that were harming you. And if you try to replicate them in some way, at least for me, ladies and gentlemen, if I try to replicate them in some way, then I'm thinking about those things all the time, right? And I just don't let them go. So I just learned to just let them go. And anyways, just eating meat, it keeps me very satiated. Meaning that I'm not hungry right now, and I'm not thinking about eating right now. Around 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, around that time, is between 12 and 6 o'clock, I allow myself to eat whatever I want, as long as it's animal protein, animal fats, or dairy protein and fats like butter, like eggs, and sometimes a little bit of cheese. Right? But I'm satiated all day, and I'm not thinking about food all day just because I'm not eating. Why? Because I'm very satisfied with what I ate last night at about, I don't know, I think 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when I ate last night. And then I ate a little treat around 5:30. I ate 2 of those little Baby Bell cheeses. I ate a couple of those, and that was it. And it was just a treat, and I'm very satisfied right now. Let's see. Paula DeFrance says, I am on carnivore, and I am amazed how much better I feel. And she says she looks, oh, thank you very much, Paula. But that's another one. I'm on carnivore, and I'm amazed at how much better I feel. Here, Ron says, I went vegan for 6 months when I had high cholesterol. Lost 10 pounds and lowered cholesterol and sugar levels with those 6 months. So whatever works for everyone. The key is giving up all processed foods and sugar. I believe that's true. It has to be what works for you, ladies and gentlemen. If you can at least give up all of those processed foods that you eat, that is going to help you a lot. Whether you go vegan or whether you go carnivore or what you go. For me, it seems that carnivore works a lot better. I've tried going vegetarian in the past. No good for me, ladies and gentlemen. It just does not work for me. I'm always hungry. I'm always looking forward to my next meal. And I never really enjoyed my meals when I went vegetarian. But for you, that may be the answer. It's just not the answer for me. Remember, we're just here to share with each other and to, push each other along and help each other out, ladies and gentlemen. Not here to judge anyone for how they eat or how they live their lives. As long as we can help each other, that's what it's all about. And someone asked me, JL here asked me, can you put these videos on a dedicated playlist? Which I did. So if you haven't watched my Reversing Diabetes videos from episode 1, they are now on a playlist that you can watch them from the beginning. And I'll continue to add them on as I put them on here on YouTube. So thank you for that recommendation, by the way. This is a great testimony, and we'll finish it with this one. This is from Cynthia Smith. I've lost 140 pounds. 6 years doing keto and fasting. I walk daily. Walking does the body good. I'm almost carnivore. That's awesome. And what does AP always say? This guy right here. Slow and steady wins the race. Just don't give up. And if you fall off the wagon, there's nothing wrong with that. Just get back on it. There's always room for you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and, I'm not going to finish it off with, this is not going to be the last thing that I talk about. I have to talk to you about my wife's testimonial. And you all know you'll never see my wife because she is a atheist when it comes to social media, all right? And she started doing this about a month after I started doing it. And she's just doing ketovore, or mainly keto, not even ketovore, mainly keto, because she still allows herself up to about 30 or so carbohydrates a day, grams of carbs a day, which is fine. Ladies and gentlemen, in the last 3.5 months or so, my wife used to be on high blood pressure medication. Used to be. On cholesterol medication, right? And she used to have to take medication for migraines. She's not on any of those medications anymore, on any of them. So if that right there is not worth you taking a few minutes and doing a little bit of research, then I guess nothing ever will, ladies and gentlemen. But that is honest God truth. She's not on any of those medications anymore, and that's pretty awesome. Now we'll finish it off with this right here because, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I like doing these videos. I received an email yesterday, all right, in the morning, and it says here, hello, Rudy. Your video got me to think. I eat right. I'm doing all the right things, but I need to quit smoking. I'm going to try not to get a little emotional now, but when I was first reading this, I got a little emotional because for those of you that don't smoke, or are not addicted to something like nicotine, one of them being probably the most addictive things there is, and sugar, you don't know how hard it is to quit smoking or quit dipping or quit vaping. It's extremely difficult. And here I think that their phone or whatever they used to message was auto-correcting. But they say here that I realized that I have been doing all of these things to get healthy, but I still needed that cigarette. All right. So now they're saying instead of taking that cigarette break, I go for a walk. I ride my bike. And they say thank you. And I want to thank you for sending this because to me, this is so awesome, ladies and gentlemen. When I hear stories like this, that someone is making their lives better, maybe because of something that they saw in a video or something they heard, to me, that is pretty incredible. So thank you very much again. Ladies and gentlemen, I probably made this video about 3,000 hours long, so I have to apologize to you for that. And if you're still here, you are definitely awesome. But trust me, if you're still here after all my yapping, you're like at saint level, all right? You're like at saint level, all right? So God bless every one of you. Thank you very much for all of your support, ladies and gentlemen. And tomorrow I will not be canceling my live stream. We will be having a live stream tomorrow. We'll be doing a couple of nice little giveaways that we've got set up, and we're going to have someone visit us that's some of my favorite people in the world. So hope to see you tomorrow during our live stream, 2 p.m. Alaska time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Hope to see you there, ladies and gentlemen. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.